Hello everybody, we're Nuila Coffee. We've been roasting our own coffee for a while now, and we've been selling it at a farmer's market. We're working on starting up a cafe where we can serve coffee to people around us. And today we are going to be trying a couple of new coffees that we got in recently, and we roasted them recently as well. And we're going to be trying them in the form of an espresso style drink using the Aeropress and the Fellow Prismo. It's not technically espresso because of the amount of pressure buildup you can get with it, but it's very similar in the intensity, and you can even get a little bit of crema. And I'm going to show you one of the best ways that I've found to do that today. So we're going to dive right into it. I'm going to start by preheating this glass here because it's very important to have a warm glass, and we're going to start by dishing out some coffees. We're starting this off with some beans from Guatemala. These have been roasted a little bit darker. We're going to grind these pretty fine. Espresso typically is a finer one. It's 4 on the Baratza if you have that, if that helps at all. But we're going to be measuring out 20 grams of each one. One of the best parts is always sniffing the grounds. Always smells amazing. It's very chocolatey, very earthy, very enjoyable. I really wanted to see how much crema we could get out of this method, and through experimenting and stuff, I found that this inverted method is actually the best way to do it. So it might seem a little complicated to some people flipping around and stuff, but I think it works very nicely. We're hoping for this to kind of be a good training for if one day we do make it into a cafe, kind of dealing with making espresso and kind of just figuring out how to make a good cup. And so we think this really is a good way to practice when you don't have an espresso maker yet. As usual with espresso, you want the water to be ripping hot. So this is right off the boil, and we're going to pour 50 mils. And this is the part that I think makes all the difference. Bringing the liquid all the way to the top. There won't be any air between the filter and the actual coffee. And that'll really preserve a lot of that crema when you press it through. At around a minute or so of brewing, we're gonna put on the top. We're gonna seal it, and we're gonna flip it and press. So you can see there's a lot of crema there. I'm gonna give it a little swirl, and we're gonna try it out. It's not too thick. It's nice and chocolatey, a little grassy. There's some small hints of stone fruit here and there. It's very balanced, not too bitter. Next, we're gonna do the Rwanda that we have. It's roasted a little bit lighter. I think it'll be pretty similar to the Guatemala, but we'll see. Right off the bat, the grounds look a lot lighter. Smell a lot sweeter. A little, actually quite pumpkin-y. There's a lot of pumpkin there. 50. Next shot, a lot lighter. Yeah, not very much like the Guatemala at all. It's a lot more acidic, a lot more vegetal, and yeah, there's a lot of that pumpkin flavor. Still very nice. It's enjoyable. To put it simply, it's almost like this is a lot more drawn out kind of experience of what it's like to be a barista, because we're not moving as fast, but it's we're still getting some good results. Next, we are doing Brazil. These beans are also going to be a lot lighter. They smell like freshly fried donuts, so that's usually a good sign. This is what we're left with. A puck, very similar to an espresso puck. With this one, there's actually a lot more spice notes coming through, almost like curry a little bit. So a lot of people won't call this espresso based on the fact that you're not getting as much pressure as you normally would, but I am quite certain that I am getting at least a bar or two of pressure on some of these shots. This one's a lot thicker. It's actually really sweet. Chocolatey. There's a little bit of acidity. Very balanced. It's good. I enjoy it. It's a lot more similar to the Rwanda than it is the Guatemala. All right, next. Next one's from Burundi. Very fruity on the nose. Very sweet. Yeah, very fruity. Just figured out that the last grind was actually on 2, so that's why it went through a lot slower, and there was less crema. Probably clogged the filter, but learn from our mistakes. Once again, very fruity, just like I smelled. A little chocolatey, kind of like chocolate covered berries. I forgot to say before, one thing that makes this whole thing possible is this attachment. It has this metal screen right here that makes, well, first of all, it filters the coffee, but it causes a lot more pressure buildup. And then there's a little flow valve in there to keep it from just flowing out. So you need a certain amount of pressure to make it through the first, or make it through the plunge. This one is much more tea-like, actually. It still has chocolate notes, though, but it's a lot more clear. It's less, it's got a little less body, but still very nice and very enjoyable. I think more people would like a shot like this compared to some of the other ones we've tried today. It's a little less intense. Now to the final one. Last one that we're trying is from Ethiopia. This is probably more around a medium roast, I'm assuming. It's dark, but still very fruity. It's actually pleasant to smell. It's not very carbonized or charred or oily. Yeah, let's brew. Just to make it fun, we're gonna time this last one. See what we're up against. See if we could handle a real cafe. So we're gonna start it. I'm gonna start it right here on my watch. Ready, set, go. All comes down to whether I can measure it out fast enough. Didn't really get a chance to smell it. Smells very fruity though, I think. A little bit of chocolate. It's pretty nice. Much bigger bloom on this one. Where's the taste? Where is it? And time. 2:23. It's a little slow for a cafe. Oh well, let's see if it's any good though. Much darker, but not that bitter. It's actually very smooth. It's tasty, chocolatey, very chocolatey. The chocolate definitely comes through first. Yeah, do you want to give it a try? Little to no acidity. So of the 5 we tasted today, I really enjoyed the Burundi just because of how approachable it was and pleasant, very smooth, very chocolatey. I think a lot of people would end up liking that, and so I'm gonna brew it into an Americano, even though I've already had probably way too much coffee today, but we're gonna do it. And I think it's gonna be pretty good. So let's do it. Once again, very chocolatey, a little spicy. So because this is an Americano, we're gonna start it out with some hot water in this glass, and then we're gonna brew it into just over the water. Yeah, there we go. All right, cover this up. And nice crema on top. Ooh, that's hot. And as far as taste, probably brewed it a little bit on the lighter side, probably used a little bit too much water, but I think as it cools down, it'll gain more flavor for sure. But yeah, very chocolatey. This brings out more of its tea-like qualities, I'd say. Yeah, kind of like black tea. or like oolong, definitely getting that in there. So that was my morning coffee. We tried 5 different beans. All of them were very good. I'm very impressed. I'm happy with how they turned out. And even though the whole brewing process is a lot more drawn out, I feel like it just gives a good amount of practice for when we are serving people, and eventually if we do find a cafe, and we're seriously looking for one. In the meantime, we sell our single origin coffee online at nuila.us. We hand roast it here at our house, and we've been selling it at the farmers market. And so if you're interested, please feel free to pick some up. But with that, I hope you have a great day. Cheers.